Wake up, exiles, more news on patch 02. They are drip feeding us little by little, and I've sworn to keep you updated. In Path of Exile 02's update, we're making it so that towers can spawn mechanics, including bosses.
In the 020 update for Path of Exile 2, we'll be giving all content the ability to spawn in tower maps, including bosses. This means towers will have the same clear requirements as regular maps, and you'll need to fulfill these requirements in order to activate the tower.
Okay? So towers can have everything. They can have bosses, breaches, delirium, expeditions, and if towers are close by each other, if you put a tablet in, another tower can be juiced up. I kind of want to see what a breach tower would look like.
Randomly generate with content on the Atlas, and we'll be able to gain content from using tablets on other...
Imagine this small... It's actually pretty cool. This very small linear map with a breach now walking down these tiny corridors. I mean, with my detonate dead necromancer. Yeah, this would be quite a fun thing. This, together with a prior tower update that we now have different towers and not always the same, will certainly make them more fun. Because right now I still view towers kind of as this, I just need to get it done as fast as possible. I put a low level map in, I don't really care. I just want to get it done kind of exercise. And with having all the mechanics on them, you're just more eager, more excited to, like, if I have a boss tower, that's great. I mean, it can basically spawn as a boss tower, so I don't have to juice it up. It can just randomly, map opens and suddenly it's a corrupted boss spawn tower with a breach, and I do the other tower next to it, and I put another mechanic on top of the tower. It's irradiated now and has whatever. Thank you. That's cool. I like that. It makes them more interesting. It doesn't fix in general that the end game doesn't feel all too amazing, but at least it's lifting it up somewhere. It's not fixing any of the problems that people have right now, right? It's not going to make you come back to the game. If this was the only feature they put into patch 02, you wouldn't be like, oh wow, my towers have bosses now. Log in, exiles. It's more like, yes, this is a step in the right direction. Path of Exile also hired a new data analyst, and the first job was checking out how much are certain ascendancies being played? What is the most popular ascendancy? And I think this is an extremely important snapshot to make because it kind of shows how weak certain ascendancies are. People love playing the Invoker because the Invoker, frankly spoken, just feels naturally amazing. Monk is probably the most easy to play, incredibly OP class. You can get super defense, super damage, and just fly through the game. And with the Invoker, you can on top get tons of spirit and even armor together with your evasion rating, just like that. And if you want to, you have this super unbound avatar nuke skill. What is there not to love about the Invoker? And if you compare this with the Acolyte of Shayula on a 1.15% pick rate, yeah, something needs to be done about the Acolyte. Not every ascendancy needs to be equal, but that Invoker is being picked almost 20% and Acolyte of Shayula is picked by 1% of the community. Yikes. Same kind of goes to the Warbringer. I mean, Warrior anyways does not have a high pick me rate. The Warbringer is at 1.53%, where the Titan is 5.48. While the Titan is actually playable and armor still isn't a bad spawn, the Warbringer just makes no sense to exist, especially because of the armor mechanic, since he has this mechanic to break armor and lower armor below 0. But if armor is not really doing that much, then lowering armor below 0 does also not give you the amazing damage gain you would hope. I mean, like, lowering armor below 0, I would be thinking, I'm probably getting another 30% damage bonus, but you're not. We get the Stormweaver and the Infernalist up. Not surprised about the Infernalist. It's practically the minion ascendancy. You get your dock early. It's super fun to play. Many amazing things to do with that. Demon form certainly needs some work to feel more viable. The Stormweaver, same on top. Spark Mage just going out there, overwhelming your opponent, stacking the damage. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Double shock, no problems. Deadeye with another 13%. I like Deadeye, but in comparison with Invoker, it does feel weaker. That being said, Deadeye is the most varied Ascendancy that you can use for many things, especially with that fire and additional projectile. I mean, this is my Deadeye with grenades because, well, I get bonus projectiles, bonus grenades, just like that. I mean, even double explosive shot. It's super good and quite amazing. That's why I love the Deadeye so much, as it gives you such a variety. What I'm genuinely surprised about is how weak the Pathfinder is, only 3.38%, where Shattering Concoction is one of the strongest, easiest builds to play. Just get your mana potions there and then go pop, 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 and destroy everything. Blood Mage being low is no surprise at all. The only really viable build I could find here is a Detonate Dead Mage, but I have to say that the Detonate Dead was so easy to put together. I only needed one unique for it. And this is my fastest leveling, level 85 character that does the most damage as well, that has the easiest time to go through everything. I mean, we even destroyed like the tier 4 Ascendancy simpler than any of the other classes. It might be weak in the public eye because there is not many builds you kind of want to go for, but the builds you go for, and that's solo self-on by the way, are so incredible and feel that amazing. Witch Hunter being more popular than Blood Mage is a surprise because Witch Hunter is basically useless. It doesn't really add anything to it. I'm not surprised that Gemling Legionnaire is performing better. If I was playing a Merc, I used to go for the Witch Hunter. I would now swap for the Gemling Legionnaire. And if it was only to play the payload support twice, which has my grenades explode twice. If that was the only region to do it, to then have it like on my explosive grenade and also have it on my gas grenade, that alone is reason enough. I do hope that having this data will not lead to extreme nerfs of the outliers and rather to buffs of the lower picked classes right now. I don't want to see Invoker, Infernalist, Deadeye, and Stormweaver nerfed. I don't see a reason to. I want to see the other classes put up to par. Maybe even check if the concept made any sense. Chronomancer has only a 2.01% pick rate. But if you actually play Chronomancer, this is my level 83, again, my Chronomancer is actually a higher level than my normal Stormweaver sword, because Stormweaver was boring and Chronomancer was intriguing and fun to play. Once you understood how the recoup life mechanic works and that you can pretty much be undying if you then put the right ways, recoup life, have a good time, nice and amazing. But it does need some experience in the game to make this work. And the effect just doesn't seem amazing at first, and it could be even better. I mean, this 30% of damage taken is recouped as life, could be 40, could even be 50%, might be a little bit too good, but would make it easier then to make this split between recoup life and actually doing damage, because right now I have to lean extremely into the recoup life to make it work, and it just simply doesn't feel amazing as some of the others, because you have to lean so much into that to basically make it function. But then only 2.01% are actually picking the Chronomancer because they don't really know what to do with it. And let's not forget, these are only the first Ascendancies, right? We have 6 classes, each has 2 Ascendancies, but we're getting another +1, which would dilute the pool even further. Sure, if we get something that can compete with Invoker, that makes Acolyte of Shayula a no pick. Because that's what's going to happen. If we now get another Ascendancy that needs to compete, these low picked ones are going to be no picked ones. You do have to do something there, GGG. Not only do we need you to desperately work on the crafting to make it less RNG, and to work on the end game that, well, it's not like it is right now. I don't know what you need to do. Sorry, I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't know what needs to be done to make the end game better. Something needs to be done because I know I'm just not enjoying it as much as I could, as much as I should. I don't want to play it 24/7. So something is missing. What is missing, I can't tell you, but something to really have me like all geek and nerd out like absolutely crazy. They are certainly taking steps in the right direction, and I'm happy that they're giving us the content glimpses. The biggest issue sometimes is that you don't absolutely know what they're trying to do with certain items. When you get this helmet here that allows you to dual wield two-handed aces, maxes, swords, and so on, but you can't use a chest armor, and at first sight for the casual player, it just seems like, why would I ever use this item? The hammer is a bit more obvious. It's a very high damage bonky stick that has a secondary effect of mana regeneration and gain random shrine buffs, which could be bad because of the gold shrine. More obvious, the other one less obvious. Then we get more support gems, and sure, more support gems is nice, but they're so damn specific in what they're doing that the general sentiment I've seen so far and people reacting to this has been, like, it's not that someone would log in because of 5 new support gems, right? We need patch 02 to really be a banger where people are heavily enticed to log back in. I mean, for me, as someone who likes to theory craft, I am really looking forward to the new support gems because I can play existing builds better. I can try out new builds. I can do stuff different. I mean, that volcanic eruption from the warrior, I want to do another playthrough with warrior to see how much does volcanic eruption change the overall smoothness of the playthrough, right? That's a personal intrigue of mine, but I can understand that you're not all moist and excited about throwing tiny lava balls up that might actually miss your opponent and do nothing special. Kinda. And then they're posting a video of the mighty Wrathbreaker versus the silverback gorilla, and I gotta say, I love that. I want to see more of these fights. I actually watched the whole video and I was rooting for the Silver Fist. I hate that guy, but I hate Wrathbreaker even more. So I was sitting there very tense staring at the screen. This is a good thing to do. But what do we need, chat? What do you think should be in patch 02? Keep drip feeding us the content Path of Exile because we really want to see what's coming. But please bring the bangers. I at this point I need the druid. I need a new class. I mean, for me, for 02 to be as amazing as I imagine it to be, new class or bust. And that needs to be, I mean, preferable the druid. I would be excited for that. What do you think? And if you missed the breakdown of the new support gems and what you can actually do with them and what might be new plans, new builds, new ideas, check out the video and have a fantastic good day. Thanks for watching.